They're BFFs, best football friends. Hello and welcome. It is episode 75 of LAFC Plus. We're so glad you can be with us. I'm Dave Denholm. He is Mario Ruiz. Mario, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. So some people are wondering, like, what is Mario doing when I do this? Because they think I'm doing the Sunny celebration, but I'm doing the plus. I've been doing this for a while, right? This is
75
the plus. episodes,
yeah. You've been doing that for
Sunny,
a long time.
Sunny got the other one, something like this, right? But this is plus. So, yeah. Number 75, Dave. What a fun run it's been and still going on. And it's even funner now with Sunny and Denis doing their thing and all the goals and all the winning. So let's get to it. Another episode of LAFC Plus.
That's right. Coming off another big win on the past weekend, 3-0 over St. Louis City, overwhelming City on the road at Energizer Park. And Mario, just another comprehensive victory. We say BFFs, best football friends, because it seems like Denis, Bouanga, and Son Heung-min have gotten along certainly very well on the pitch and off. And they seem to be having a great time. And we talk about it, but Denis and Sonny are just... they're simpatico right now. Any way you slice it, they're just working well together. The team is working great around them, no doubt. But when you have that kind of partnership, we talked about it a little bit, the previous week. You know what St. Louis City is going to try to do against you defensively. They're going to try to stop those guys. But as you pointed out, you might be able to stop one. We saw that with Denis earlier in the year, triple teamed constantly, quadruple teamed at times. If that's what it took to stop him. But you can't do that anymore because either one of them can now just destroy you, and there's going to be space if you try to pull too much of that triple teaming, double teaming. And we see it. We saw with the goals that Son scored, another brace in this game, and Denis had the other one. So just an incredible run, Mario. These two are BFFs on and off the pitch. Best football friends, it seems.
Yeah, friends, and you see how much fun they're having. It's almost inspirational for me, and I think it should be inspirational for you and I, Dave, because I see their celebration. I see how they're like doing the basketball thing, dribble, and they jump up and shoot. It's like an alley-oop or a dunk. I'm not sure what they're doing, but it's just so fun and just gets everybody excited. I think you and I got to come up with something like that. We got to do that in person next time we see each other, Dave.
I pulled a hamstring just watching them do it the other night, so I don't know. I don't think that's we'll see.
Yeah, we'll try to true.
Here's our BFFs, our best football friends, as we come here every week and talk on LAFC Plus, right? We're the talkers, we're the broadcasters, so we know what we're doing. We know our lane. I can't get too crazy. I thought you just said a couple months ago, you just busted a pinky playing softball or whatever, busted a finger.
Still feel it. Yes.
So let's not get crazy here. I think our time has passed for trying any kind of physical, let's create.
You're right.
Jumping in the air. I saw that. I was like, oh, guys. Yeah. But then I remember they're phenomenal athletes who are still young, so they can do that.
Yeah.
And boy, are they doing it. I mean, they're celebrating a lot, Mario, because the goals are just flying in, And
I don't think it's too soon for us to start thinking about just the notion of being the best duo in MLS history. I really don't, because when these two, Sonny and Denis, when they wrap up their time, when their time is done here, which is hopefully many years from now here at LAFC, they could be that best duo in MLS history. I know it's early. I know they have been, off to a great start. They just met, but still off to a great start. But look at the numbers. I mean, they're the first duo in MLS history to have 17 consecutive goals in the regular season. And we're counting still. We're still going on. That's 4 straight wins for LAFC. These guys are leading the way. And I just was like going down, I was searching like all the other duos in MLS history. And I was thinking like where could Denis and Sonny rank? Because there's been some pretty good duos. I mean, Donovan and Robbie Keane were an amazing duo, won a lot of MLS Cups. And then you have David Beckham that was in there helping out as well for a little bit there. You have Joseph Martinez and Almiron when they were at Atlanta United.
Just a couple years, though. I thought it was longer than that. They didn't really play that long together, those two. Now, of course, Son and Denis are just getting started, as you say. I go back to, and I know you do too, I go back to Marco Echeverri and Jaime Moreno back in the day of DC. I go back Mauricio Cienfuegos and Kobe Jones way back. We're talking late 90s when the league first kicked off, essentially. All the way
Echeverry and Moreno, I like that shot because they were like one of the first like dynasties, one of the first like legit clubs in MLS that was winning trophies and bringing stars and playing some high class football at that time. So that's a good shout out too. And then I mean, you can't forget about Carlos and Diego Rossi too, because Carlos Vela and Rossi. I got the Vela shirt on. Matter of fact, if you can see it. Got the Vela shirt on right now. Very nice. But those two did their thing too in the early days of LAFC, and they really opened things up for the black and gold. So there's been some duos, but I mean Denis and Sonny.
Well, as dominant in terms of just those two. Now that's not to say everybody else isn't contributing, but like they're scoring. They're getting absolutely. And again, and I think I was listening to a podcast that was talking about that. Tom Bogert and David Goss do a great podcast that I love, soccer wise, and they were talking about these great duos. I think it's a great topic, and they mentioned a couple of them that were throughout the years that some of them I just thought, oh, those were very good players and everything, but no, not like at this level,
right.
And they were, obviously was all predicated on the fact that Son and Denis are just dominating as a duo. That's what brings up the conversation. You can put Messi and fill in the blank, if you want. Like it's certainly Suarez for the most part here at Inter Miami. But they haven't won anything. Well, I shouldn't say they haven't won anything. And obviously they won a Leagues Cup.
They won Leagues Cup,
and everything. Didn't they win the Supporter Shield last year? So like there's obviously they've won some stuff, but you got to like that's the thing with Son and Denis too. I don't disagree with you. It's incredible. They're red hot. Now we got to go win. We got to keep winning. So, and that's just where you're going to get judged eventually, in the long run. Because you remember Marco Echeverry and Jaime Moreno because, as you said, they became a dynasty of winning. Like that's the key. Like there's been a lot of great players and even a lot of great duos along the way that really didn't win in the end.
That's what I like about Denis and Sonny is that they're individual like stars, like big time stars. Sure. And as much as they're scoring and everything, they're playing very unselfish, towards each other too, right? So they each have had chances at goal, and they decide to lay it off and let the other man score, which has been great to see.
I mean, we've seen some really good play out of Denis and Sonny with their other teammates too, like laying balls off. Like you say, they're being very unselfish, not only with each other though, but with the entire team. Now, sometimes keepers are going to make saves on other people. Maybe the other players are, they're not going to, I'm not even saying they're finishing poorly, but they don't even want to necessarily look for the goal because they're trying to get it back to Denis and Sonny, and obviously because those are the guys who are red hot finishing. So it's just, that's what I said. That's one of my notes coming out of that game was just everyone seems to be clicking together now, not just Denis and Sonny. Obviously they're getting all the highlights, rightfully so. They're getting all the accolades, rightfully so. They're scoring all the goals. But it's everybody who's contributing. The midfield.
In the midfield. A guy who's really been getting a lot of really good looks is Marky Delgado in the midfield. Sure. Sonny and Denis, obviously, they attract a lot of attention. All the defenders are going towards them. And Marky's had some good, space right outside of the penalty box, 12 yards out, 15 yards out in front of goal. He had a chance in the last game. He rocked it off of the crossbar. He had a similar chance couple games back when Sonny made his first start with LAFC. He bagged that goal on a beautiful curler. So those are the type of chances that Delgado has been getting. Hopefully he gets one of those chances in a really big game, like in the playoffs, sometimes down the stretch here where it's a really big goal for Mark Delgado, because I really think that he's just another one of those players that is going to benefit from not only Sonny, but now, Denis as well.
Feels like Mark has hit the post a few times this year, actually, along the way. And it does have 9 assists. So, I mean, he's obviously playing well. He's got some big goals along the way, too. But he's also hit the post a few times. He might be the team leader in that, or right up there, I think. Certainly, you would expect Denis, who probably has that lead, actually, but just because he takes so many shots, too. But, here's one of what the goals sounded like. One of the goals from Son Heung-min, of course, coming up with the brace against St. Louis City. And then I want to point out something about this as well. Here's one of the goals from that match, as you heard it on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app. This is my call there.
Son battling, winning it around one defender, laying it into the run brilliantly of Delgado. Oh, what work by Son. 3v3, Delgado in the middle, Denis on his right, Delgado top of the area, laying it off for Son, into the run of Smolikov in the 6, puts it on his right foot, back to Son. Top of the 18, now traffic. Son on the right foot, curling shot it in! Son has beaten the defense in Berkey from 15. It's 3-0! Oh, what a spectacular individual effort from the great Son Heung-min! Oh my goodness, what a goal for LAFC. Berkey is left shaking his head in disbelief. Son's brace here in this match. It's his 8th of the season, and LAFC now lead 3-0.
So my point of that is people who will see that highlight, who don't really watch the whole match or didn't, even maybe they're not even following MLS, but a lot of them came on social media and were like, oh, look at the defense. They're laying off of him. It was so – this is the point we're trying to make, right? When you're a team that's attacking well and you have two great attackers, defenses can't just climb or close down on one guy. And you're also getting into the penalty area a lot more with touches. Defenders can't lunge. They can't go crazy there. You're going to draw penalties, and Denis is going to bury those on you. So
yeah, Denis just scored minutes ago.
And that's how Son is going to get space, even when you're like, well, how come they're not closing him down? Because there's other people around him he can hit and certainly lay off great passes, which he's already done on several occasions. So you can't just like single out one guy and just try to just stop him. And that is all the difference. I mean, it really is.
You know what's been huge is the fact that LAFC have been scoring early in a lot of these games too.
True.
The fact that they're getting the early goals early on, which can be a game changer, right? Opponents got to change their game now. They got to change the game plan. LAFC can play with that comfort now, knowing that they're up, by a goal. They can defend more comfortably, hit you on the counter, and just make you pay. And that's another thing. LAFC is making teams pay. You don't want to make a mistake against LAFC, especially right now, because then they're off and running. Denis off and running, Sonny's off and running, and they're putting it on the frame. They're putting it on the frame, and especially Sonny. I mean, Denis, he's put on the frame now, but I mean, Sonny, he's pinpoint accurate with his shots. Just when you think he doesn't really have like nothing here, there's not really a chance there, he fires off a shot and it's on the frame, and it was a really good chance. Like that's what Steve Cherundolo confirmed for me, because I was noticing that, and then I talked to Steve Cherundolo just a couple of days ago, and he was talking about his finishing, and he was talking about how he's so smart with it, the right amount of power, the right placement, sometime maybe a little bit softer or whatever it needs to be for that particular shot. But Sonny's so smart with that. Yeah,
I know, because sometimes you'll feel it where it's like, oh, he picked out a corner, and you're like, oh, that seemed to take a while to get into the back of the net. Like he took something off of it, but it's through traffic. The keeper can't see it until it's too late, kind of thing. And you almost, as I'm broadcasting a game, some shots, I'm not just talking about Son, I'm talking about a lot of stuff where you're like, how did that go in a sense of it seemed like it took forever, but it's really the smart play, taking something off of a ball where you're not putting it 20 rows into the stands because you're freaking out, you're taking your time.
That's what Steve said. Steve said in the traffic, Sonny knows how to use the defenders, the opponents, as almost like a shield.
Absolutely.
For the keeper. The keeper can't see it because the defender's right there, and Sonny kind of knows that and hits it, and boom, it's in the back of the net. You're like, what? What just happened? There was no chance.
Yeah, well, and you heard me talk about Roman Berkey there. He got frustrated because of that, and a lot of, I think, because like there's not much the defense can do. He's not blaming them, but it's like they're causing like a screen, if you will, for a basketball term or whatever, like where the keeper just sees it too late. And I think that was some of Berkey's frustration because, you want your defense to close him down, but Berkey also knows that Son could just beat you in so many ways. If you're going to give him a shot, it better be from 18 or whatever, that's your best chance, I guess, maybe. But you're right. He uses the defense so well. 8 goals now. You heard that one right there. 8 goals and just, handful of assists already. I mean, just Mario, this is just ridiculous. And here's the thing too. And this is me. I've changed my opinion on this as a sports fan over many years, right? I used to fall prey to if you don't win a championship, it's a wasted season, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Only one team wins. Now, LAFC, their goal is to win MLS Cup. And frankly, I'm not backing away from that. They need to, right? They're the best team in MLS right now. You got to win, or you're going to be disappointed. But 2 things can be true at once. That is true. We will be disappointed as LAFC fans if we don't win the Cup this year. Just like the team will, just like John Thorrington will.
Yeah.
But also, when you are on a streak or you have a good you have to enjoy that. You have to enjoy regular seasons. Yes, the playoffs will be their own headache, and it'll be miserable and fun and awful and great all at the same time. And maybe you'll win because you're the best team and you deserve it. You got to go out and, figure that out and prove it. And that is the goal. But let's enjoy this too, because these kind of things don't always happen. You don't always have these kind of runs. You don't, we see it around the rest of the league. Now, for LAFC, we're spoiled, but it's hard to have great seasons. It's not easy. So you also have to enjoy the regular season. And the stretch we're in right now, man, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. I already can't wait for our game coming up on Sunday. And,
these two guys are worth the price of admission already. Oh. And as a fan, this kind of plays into what you're talking about here, this topic here. As a fan, what more can you ask for? You watch the games on TV to be entertained at the end of the day, right? And also, you want to win too, but you're there to be entertained from those 2 hours that you're watching the game. You go to the stadium, you pay money for food, tickets to be entertained. These guys are providing entertainment.
That's exactly right.
But you also want to win trophies.
Business. We are not in the soccer business. We're in the entertainment business.
So the entertainment, that part of it, they got it down packed right now. LAFC bring it. Even from the production of the whole show at the stadium to just everything, right? From what you're seeing on social media, they are entertaining. They got that down packed. The trophies, well, that is something that is a work in progress, and everything is going good right now. But we'll see. We'll see on the trophies.
Yeah, you got to get there.
At the end of the day, I do want to see trophies, and I do feel like it is a letdown. Just the competitor, if you don't win trophies, I feel like it's a letdown. I did enjoy the time that we had at the games and all that stuff, but it is a tremendous letdown for me.
Of course.
Just speaking for me, to not win
No, that's
at the end.
Yeah, don't take my words the wrong way. That's my point. You did enjoy it. That's where we're living now. Of course, we're going to be disappointed because we still got to get the Champions Cup. We still got to qualify. We're not there. So
a lot of work.
Not yet. A lot of work to be done. And in each game, that's where the enjoyment has to come when you're on a stretch like this, because you could also be St. Louis City. No disrespect to them, but you know what I mean? And they were even kind of coming in a little bit hot in that, but their season's been miserable. What do you do with that? You're like, of course it happens in sports. You got to find your joy when and where you can along the way, because as Mario said, this is entertainment. But once we kind of turn our focus, that's when you really have to, get down. And that's why that's why I always say the playoffs are miserable. I'm not there to enjoy the playoffs. I'm there to win. Right. Yeah. Once we get to the playoffs, there's no entertainment, whatever. Just win. However you have to do. I don't care if it's own goals the whole way.
That's it.
The 1-0, whatever. That playoffs are not for entertainment. I'm sorry. You're not there to be entertained. You're there to win and be miserable and be awesome when it happens and be, have a great time when you win. But now is geez, this is too much fun.
These last 4 wins have been very convincingly, which has been a lot of fun too, right? I'm loving
how many times does that happen 4 times in a row? You might win 4 games in a row, right? You might get on a little. That can happen. Not that often in MLS, mind you, but it might. But how many times?
And the way they're doing it, right?
Yes,
3-0, 4-1, 4-1, 4-2. A lot of goals.
We've had 5-game winning streaks where I don't remember them like this. Right. We've had, and that's everybody, you might get on a little streak where, even like I said, St. Louis City came in with a couple of wins. Right. But it's not like this, this is
right.
You got the wins, but then you're pouring it on, which is so much fun.
This is how you build momentum towards the playoff. This is how all of a sudden you make a run towards first place in the West, 4th place right now at the moment. 4 matches remaining on the schedule, 4 points away from first place San Diego FC with 2 games in hand. Watch out, everybody in the West, because LAFC's coming and
I don't care what you did to us in April or May. You might have, nicked a goal against us and beat it. Nobody wants to play us now, that's for sure. And that's been the fun part of this, no doubt about it. Well, the next team that does have to play us, of course, is Sunday. We talked just a little bit about that. The LAFC back at BMO Stadium will be hosting Atlanta United. Boy, they are a hot mess in Hotlanta, Mario. This one's got away from them. They missed the playoffs, which, let's be honest, in MLS, that's hard to do. Realistically, that is hard to do in MLS, is missing the playoffs as badly as they have done. This is not like a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. They have been awful all season, but it's made worse, I think, for Arthur Blank and the owner of Atlanta and all the people, all the fans, because they've spent buckets of money in MLS comparisons, like millions and millions of dollars in transfer fees, some of the biggest money we've ever seen spent in MLS to bring in some really big players, and it just, it's not working. I mean, this has been a mess from day one here this season.
Oh, yeah. One of the biggest letdowns, I think, in MLS history. One of the biggest ones for sure. $50 million on 3 players.
That's a good call.
That's crazy. I mean, you can't just... Look, Galaxy have excuses, right? They lost their player to injury, Ricky Puig, who was the engine to that entire team. A couple other injuries. But this
had
one
to make
for
a lot of
United
changes
is...
because they won. Which we've went through before too. You lose guys.
They
if
have
you
good
win in this
individual
league,
players at Atlanta United,
bonuses,
but they don't play together.
Salaries. Yeah,
they don't play together like the way our stars are playing together, right? Everybody's a team. Everybody's a collective unit. Everybody is team first. At Atlanta United, it's just like a bunch of good players, but individual players. Nobody's playing together. I mean, they're not scoring. Their defense is not playing well. A goal differential of -20. That's not going to get it done. I don't know. I just can't really explain it because there's no excuses for this.
Well, if it wasn't for the Galaxy having a almost historically bad road record, Atlanta United would have the historically bad road record. They've been awful on the road. 1-9-5 this season on the road. Now, they're no great shakes at home either. They're not great there either. But they have just been dreadful on the road. Only 5 wins in their 31 games so far. Now, all this to say, you still got to go out and do it because they do have those weapons we talked about. Latte Lot comes in for big money. Miguel Almiron is back, a hero. Alexei Miranchuk, for all of his kind of maybe not having the stats you would think, he's still a good player. Scored some really good goals this year too, and maybe a little more lately, but it just, as Mario said, just hasn't fit. They're a -20 goal difference and only have scored 37 goals this season. Like, you would have never guessed this.
But a team like this,
looking at this
that
team
is outside looking in, already eliminated from the playoffs. What do you think? I mean, this could be a dangerous team too, as well. I mean, they're playing for just pride. They have nothing to play for, so it also could be a little dangerous.
They've also started to play some more younger kids, like giving them a chance. Why not, right? Because they've been eliminated for a little while, and as you say, they're not going anywhere. Give some kids some chance to play. That's always a problem in LA. Everybody who brings their best when you go to Los Angeles to play, when you're going to BMO, they're going to get the best Atlanta has. I don't think it's good enough to beat LAFC. Yeah. It shouldn't be. But again, we've seen crazier things because these teams, this is Atlanta United's MLS Cup coming up on Sunday. Yeah. That's what it is.
It's another favorable,
Sunday night
favorable game on the schedule for LAFC. We talked about the schedule, the last few games here for LAFC is very favorable. This is another one favorable for LAFC to pick up another 3 points. The hottest team in Major League Soccer, LAFC, against Atlanta United, 14th place in the East. But I think for Atlanta, it's very unfortunate for them because they're facing a club that's really, really on a mission right now. LAFC is just plowing through people. And Son, he doesn't like to lose at home. All he wants to do is deliver for the fans. He wants to deliver nothing short of wins at BMO Stadium. Denis Bouanga, like I said, on a mission. This team is on a mission. Denis Bouanga is chasing Messi for the Golden Boot. He's only 1 goal shy from Messi. He's chasing Messi. So Denis wants that. The relentlessness and the pursuit of just being great and just trying to win. Denis is unstoppable. So it's really, really a tough uphill climb for Atlanta United in this one at BMO Stadium on Sunday night.
Indeed. So we'll have that certainly on the ESPN LA app. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. But let's go around the rest of MLS. It's the plus of LAFC plus. A tough night for Inter Miami. A couple of nights ago, they actually lose to Chicago, which clinched the Fire's playoff spot. And also, Lionel Messi didn't score in that game. It was a 5-3 game. Crazy game, but Chicago gets a win. U.S. Open Cup final Wednesday night. Congratulations to Nashville SC. They win their first ever trophy, major trophy, certainly there, winning the U.S. Open Cup. They're in the Champions Cup now. Yeah. They beat Austin in Austin for a final. Boy, that's a kick in the teeth when you lose a final on your home turf. Everybody experiences it at some point. We know that, but it certainly hurts to lose a final. But boy, when you do it in front of your home fans too, there's no fun in that. But Nashville get the job done. Campeones Cup on the same night, a little later, certainly for East Coast people, maybe around the league, they didn't. But Toluca come back with 2 late goals to beat the Galaxy. Looked like they were going to hoist a trophy. Not only did they qualify for Champions Cup through the Leagues Cup this year, finishing third in that tournament, they almost lifted a trophy here in what is one of their worst seasons ever. They've been terrible, and yet they can't get it. Well, you can never. You have to. We've talked about this before. When you're playing a Liga MX side with everything on the line, you better make sure you drive that stake right through their heart once and for you have to finish them off. There is no, well, we're leading 2-1 in the 85th. This one looks good. No, it's never, ever over until that referee blows that final whistle and you look up and you have one more goal than a Liga MX team. Then you can kind of start. So even then, even after the referee says the match is over, I'm not even sure I want to celebrate too soon because they just never stop.
And this Toluca team is in a good moment right now. How many trophies have they won lately? Plenty of trophies.
That's a cup team, no doubt. I mean, you got to give the Galaxy, I hate to say it, you got to give them some credit because they were close to winning that match, no doubt. Yeah. But again, you have to finish off a team. We know that when that whistle blew and we had beaten Club America, which by the way, look how hard that was. We had to score late in that match to tie it at home and then win it in stoppage. Extra time. When that whistle finally blew, it was like a relief like no other. It's just like you have to finish them off. And Toluca, to their credit, didn't stop, and they get 2 late goals. 1 in stoppage time. They win 3-2. They lift the Campeones Cup. I think I read 4 out of the 7 have now been won by Liga MX, 3 for MLS total in that, and of course LAFC have lost in the Campeones Cup. Let's face it. We came up short on that one too. So would love to get back to that. Would love to try to win that trophy again.
Most definitely.
Means you won MLS Cup. But this weekend also, obviously the games are getting more interesting in the sense of where you're going to end up in the playoffs, what seeding and all that, who's going to win the supportership, all this stuff. Mario, my pick for the game to keep an eye on is Vancouver, San Jose, Sunday, right before our match, in fact. So I'll be in the booth getting ready at BMO Stadium watching this one up until our pregame show coming up at 5:30 p.m. East or Pacific on Sunday on the ESPN LA app. But I want to watch this one as I'm kind of getting ready for ours because Vancouver, to me, and I no disrespect to San Diego and the season they're having and Minnesota, I think Vancouver's the team to beat in the West. I really do. Yeah. I think they're, if LAFC doesn't win the West, I think Vancouver will. So I got to keep both eyes on this one, no doubt.
What a season they're having, Vancouver Whitecaps. They started off red hot, right? They started off in MLS regular season hot, outside tournaments very, very hot. They've been holding on all season long. That's a good sign for Vancouver. To be able to sustain that, but let's go San Jose, right? Let's go San Jose. Let's go Bruce Arena.
I know. But Vancouver gets the Canadian Championship done, so they just hoisted that trophy. So their great season continues. But you're right. We're all Bruce Arena fans at BMO Stadium coming up just before our game on Sunday.
They need to hold on to that 9th and final playoff play-in match there, that spot there. But more importantly, they need to help out LAFC and keep that second place Vancouver from gathering more points as LAFC is coming up on the Whitecaps.
Sorry about that. Your pick for the weekend.
The Eastern Conference, I like the Eastern Conference. They have a good one. Philadelphia Union against New York City FC. This has playoffs written all over it. Philly has been playing well all season long, just like Vancouver. NYCFC is coming in, a little hot as of late, but Philly is in control of their own fate right now. They're in control. If they win out, they can win that supporter shield. And they want that one for sure. They want that home field if they do make it to the MLS Cup. And I bet they are inspired by getting that home field advantage by winning the Supporters Shield in the MLS Cup final. And they see what LAFC is doing. They see LAFC could potentially make it to the MLS Cup final. Let's all hope and pray. And if they do that, they would host. Philadelphia Union would host, right? The way it's going to be pretty hard for LAFC to surpass Philadelphia Union on points. So that would be an epic MLS Cup final if we did a rematch of the 2022 MLS Cup final, this time in Philly.
Little rematch. Yeah. LAFC hosting Atlanta United Sunday. Airtime pregame 5:30 p.m. Pacific on the ESPN LA app. Great stuff as always. Episode 75 in the books here for LAFC Plus. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Share, spread the word, if you will. Subscribe wherever you listen. Rate us, review us, give us a thumbs up. If you watch us on YouTube, go there on the LAFC page, and you can find the show there along with great content throughout. We really appreciate all your support. But, of course, we want you to listen. Download the ESPN LA app. You can hear the game Sunday again. Airtime for the pregame, 5:30 Pacific against Atlanta United from BMO. Mario, great stuff, buddy. Take us out of here, man.
Let's go, Black and Gold faithful. See you at BMO Stadium. If not, we'll talk to you guys on the radio. LAFC going for their 5th straight victory. And hopefully Sonny and Denis can add to those 17 straight goals. That's going to be something to look forward to. So let's go Black and Gold. We'll catch you on the next one. That's Dave Denholm. I'm Mario Ruiz. This has been LAFC Plus.